Welcome to Deceive and Believe, the channel where we uncover the dark psychology of scams. Today, we're diving into one of the most chilling tricks of our time: AI voice scams. Criminals can now clone a voice from a few seconds of audio, then use it to pose as your relatives, your boss, or even your child. It sounds futuristic. It sounds impossible. But it's happening right now. And if you don't understand how these scams are accomplished, you're vulnerable. So let's dive in. The origins, the psychology, and most importantly, how to defend yourself. So what it is? A deepfake is artificial intelligence that is trained to impersonate faces, voices, or even full conversations. It takes just a small sample, sometimes even mere seconds of your voice in a voicemail, social media clip, or even a YouTube video, for scammers to create a model that sounds exactly like you. Now combine that with psychology. Imagine you get a phone call and the voice on the other end sounds exactly like your son, your partner, or your boss. They're panicked. They say they've been in an accident, they're stranded abroad, or they need urgent money transferred right now. That's a voice scam. It's not real, but your brain doesn't have time to question it. We're wired to trust voices, especially if they sound familiar. But ask yourself this: would you stop to question it, or would you react instantly? These scams are powerful because they strike at the intersection of technology and trust. A con artist doesn't have to build rapport anymore. The machine does it instantly by sounding like someone you already love or respect. Voice scams aren't brand new. The first versions were crude, simple phone calls with bad accents or poor impersonations. But everything changed in 2019, when AI models became powerful enough to copy voices with eerie precision. That year, one of the UK energy firms lost over £200,000 when the voice of a CEO was impersonated to ask for an immediate wire transfer. The scammer took less than a minute of recording to convince senior personnel. By 2022, the technology had spread far beyond corporations. Families were receiving terrifying phone calls from what seemed to be kidnapped children, including crying and begging. Parents, believing they heard their child's voice, paid thousands of pounds before they realized it was an AI impersonation. And now that voice samples are everywhere on social media, the barriers have come crashing down. Anyone who has ever recorded a TikTok, podcast, or even an internet voicemail has essentially left a digital fingerprint for scammers to exploit. These are not isolated events. Police authorities now encounter thousands of attempts annually, many untraceable because the scammers route calls through multiple countries. The line between genuine human conversation and machine-generated deception is blurring faster than most people realize. Let's unpack the psychology behind it. Authority bias, first described in Stanley Milgram's obedience experiments in the 1960s. When a cloned voice sounds like your boss, a police officer, or even just someone in charge, your brain instinctively defers to authority. We're wired to comply with figures of power, even if the situation feels unusual. Urgency and scarcity. Robert Cialdini's research in influence shows how scarcity and urgency drive compliance. The scammer's AI voice will say to you, "I only have one chance to call. I need you to transfer money urgently." This pressure leaves no time to think. When we are under pressure, our thinking brain is bypassed and automatic obedience takes over. Would you resist pressure or obey? Fear and emotional hijacking. Daniel Kahneman explained how our System 1 fast-thinking brain reacts emotionally before reason can catch up. When you listen to a panicking or crying loved one, your amygdala, the brain's threat center, hijacks logical thought. That's why parents who are victims of deepfake kidnap scams send money in advance without question. Fear comes before logic. Social proof, also explored by Cialdini. Scammers may say, "Everyone else in the office has already done their part. I just need you to finish it." Or that the police and banks are already on it. If other people appear to believe the situation is genuine, you'll be more likely to as well. Commitment and consistency, from Cialdini's work on human behavior. The moment you answer the call and respond, even only, "Yes, are you okay?" you've already made a small verbal commitment. Humans have a strong drive to remain consistent with past behavior. That small yes can put you into greater compliance. For example, sending money or divulging information. Now, how can we guard against this type of scam? Pause and question. Scammers rely on urgency. By pausing to ask a simple question, why me? You break the psychological rhythm they've built. Why this works? Slowing down engages your rational brain. Pausing even for a few seconds is enough to allow your logic to catch up with your fear. Verify through another channel. If a boss caller demands cash, hang up and call them back on a number you know to be right. If a loved one sounds in distress, ring them or a close friend immediately. This shatters authority bias. Authority loses its grip once the illusion of control is questioned. Verification exposes the impersonation. Create family and workplace safe words. Agree on a phrase or code word that only you and your trusted contacts know. If the word isn't used, treat the call as suspicious. This removes the scammer's advantage of emotional hijacking. The lack of a code forces you to make the logical check you need prior to reacting. Slow the tempo. Ask surprise questions or leave any of the following intentional delays. I have to look this up in writing first. Urgency is disarmed. When time pressure disappears, compliance plummets. As Joe Navarro, former FBI interrogator, said, "When you control time, you control the agenda." Talk about it openly. Scammers rely on secrecy. By sharing scam tactics with colleagues, family, or friends, you're building your own social proof in the other direction. When others expect scams, resistance becomes the norm instead of compliance. The technology is new, but the scam itself is ancient. The tools evolve, but the psychology stays the same: fear, urgency, and authority. When you understand the trick, the power is returned to you. We thank you for watching Deceive and Believe, where we break down the dark psychology behind scams and the tricks used against you every day. If you found this useful, give the video a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next expose. And remember, awareness is your best defense.